Welcome, Dry Bar Comedy fans. I'm your host, Seth Tippetts, here with an audible with the very funny Alex Voluto. How you doing, Alex?
Hey, good.
We'll be real cozy here.
Yeah, thanks.
I know
for having me.
we said it was going to be Dwight Slade. He's busy. He had something come up, and you know what? That's fine. We have Alex sitting right here next to me. We're actually filming for the first time. I've been doing the live streams. This is the first time at Dry Bar. We're actually on the stage where the magic happens.
That's right. You can see the bar back there. All sorts of M&Ms and stuff are sold.
Oh, very dry. No alcoholic content in those M&Ms.
No, that we know of. Thanks for having me, Seth.
Yeah, I'm glad you could be here. It was.
Have you heard the phrase, the best of ability is availability?
Oh, I have not heard that, but I agree. Just being around, and Alex was around.
I'm around. I'm always around. You say my name 3 times.
Jason Holmes says, "Come to Logan, Utah."
Just to visit.
We're just gonna come to the Utah State Creamery. Don't they have like a famous ice cream shop up there, right?
Yeah.
Or am I thinking of BYU? I actually don't know.
I don't know. No one cares about Utah creameries.
No, nobody on the live stream is a fan of the world famous Utah ice cream. But we have some cows. Best snow on earth, best cows on earth. I think those are the 2 taglines. My license plate says best milk on earth. Right? Doesn't yours?
Yeah, I like it. Hey, Seth.
Yes.
We're touring soon, aren't we?
We are. We're going. Where are we touring to, Alex?
We're going to New Braunfels this week. New Braunfels, Texas, at the Brontex Theater.
Oh, New Braunfels. What happened to Old Braunfels?
I don't know.
What happened? I can't say. People just liked it better that way. They might be giants. I am a giant. How about that? Hey, where's the? That's a great joke right there. I don't.
Oh, wait. Seth's going to get carried away with these drops.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get 100% carried away. But, no, we're going to be there on Thursday. So buy your tickets. I think there's still some tickets available. It's going to be me, myself, Alex Voluto. We got Steve Solberg on the show in New Braunfels, Texas, and Cleto Rodriguez.
That's right.
It's the dream team. We got 4. Oh, someone does agree. We got great ice cream there. I love Utah ice cream. Oh, someone says, "I heart you, Alex." There you go. Oh. Hello from Central California. If you guys have any questions for the very funny Alex Voluto, I'm sure you've known him. You've seen him on his specials, Spurious, Thirsty.
Do you know what spurious means?
I don't. I've only ever heard that word on your special title. I also learned the word eponymous from you. I didn't know what that meant. So if you know what eponymous means, leave it in the comments.
That's a good sign because you're like the smartest person I know.
Oh.
And you don't know what spurious means. So
no, what is it? Is it like having shoes with spurs on them? You're like, look at those cowboy boots. They're very spurious. Yeah. That's what I assumed. What does it actually mean?
It means that 2 things are not related
to
each other, but they seem related.
Like a spurious connection.
Yeah.
Oh.
So no one got it. And that's a good sign. And you should watch the other one, the thirsty one, because that's a word that people know. I feel like I'm totally unrecognizable from those tapings. I've aged like a president. Look at this. Check this out.
I think he's looking young. He's looking svelte. I think you look better than you did in your specials. That's the only reason you would be unrecognizable. Is people would be like, "Who's this geriatric old man in spurious?" Because thirsty Alex Voluto, was that the second one? I can't remember. What was the order?
Yeah, you have to watch them in chronological order.
You don't want spoilers. You're going to get to the end of the spurious and be like, well, wait a minute. What is this cliffhanger? What?
That's right. Seth, we were in Ohio recently,
weren't we were in Ohio. Hello, if anyone has internet in Piqua or Salina, Ohio. I kept mispronouncing it and saying Salina, Ohio. It's Salina. And they were not happy with that, but
yeah, the shows were fun though.
Oh, they were great shows, great crowds.
You have to tell them the story of how we got out of that place.
Oh, I think you should tell it. I think you tell it better than anyone. I've told it 100 times to friends and family, but I think this one's all Alex. Here we go. The story, the epic tale of Salina, Ohio, and our escape.
So we just assumed. Oh boy, we just assumed we could get out of there on the lift, right? We're like, where in the world can you not get out of the town on Lyft? There was no Lyft available, so we tried rental cars. We heard that worked. And there were none available. When we got to town, they were available at the airport for how much? $750. That really adds to the story. So we opted to not do $750 because we're like, we'll find our way somehow back to the airport. So it's like an hour drive, right? It was just an hour from the 2-hour drive from the Cleveland airport. Cincinnati. One of those. I can't even tell anymore. So we checked. We drove around with Mike Paramore, who did have a car, but he was going to Cleveland. He was on the shows with us. We thought we could drive back with him. Could not. He was going the other way. But we did drive to other cities to see if there were lifts around. There were not. There was barely Denny's available in those places, which is fine. We ate at a diner. That was fun. So we had no way back. I reserved a taxi. Do you remember how much that was? $650. That was $650 for a 2-hour drive in a taxi. So, in a stroke of inspiration, desperation, or stupidity, I thought to myself, how do people get out of here, like, if they want to move? Can people even move? And so we got a U-Haul. There you go. It does add to the story. You were right.
We got the U-Haul lower third here. We need to be sponsored. Where's our cut? Because
it was only $100. They had one U-Haul left in town, and we got the U-Haul. It was the biggest U-Haul that U-Haul.
You could fit a 3-bedroom house in that U-Haul. It had the overhead bin space and and the thing that I felt so bad about, if anyone wants to move out, they can't anymore. We took the only U-Haul. Their U-Haul lot had one U-Haul. We thought it was the display. No one can leave. If you want to leave from Salina, Ohio, I'm sorry, because we took it to Cincinnati and.
Yeah, remember the guy at the airport?
Oh,
at the U-Haul near the airport.
That was my absolute favorite because we're like, hold on, man, we gotta get something out of the back, and he's just like, well, you're supposed to unload before you get here, and we're like, we lift up the thing. It's just 2 sad suitcases at like the other end. Grab the suitcases, and he just looks at us like, where are you guys? What? Who rents a U-Haul? That's a little life hack though. If you want to get out of a if you're stuck in a tiny town and all you have is $150 with tax, I mean, come on, take a page from Alex Voluto. That's the road hack of the year right there. I mean, he saved us $500. Right. I mean, surprisingly, despite being the biggest U-Haul, I did not fit in the U-Haul. I'm 6'9". I can't remember if I've told anybody, but boy, I had my knees in my chest the whole drive, and it didn't take 2 hours because the thing only went 50 miles an hour. Wasn't there a sticker on the speedometer? Yeah, that said don't go over 50. It was hard to get up to 50. That's a lot of. It had some fear, but it was like, don't go over 50. It's better to arrive alive or something. Oh, yeah. You're just like, how many people have died in this U-Haul? Like, what? Why did you need to put the sticker here? No one had used it though, I don't think, because it was completely frozen over. I had to chip away at the door. There was just it was an archaeological dig. You found this U-Haul, and it's like the first caveman frozen in ice. You're like, and this was the first U-Haul from the ancient Babylonians. They actually somehow in Ohio. So I rolled the window down as we were driving and knocked ice out of the window. We got a video of that. I wish we should have given it to Garrett, the producer, before we got on here, because we could have had a little segment where we showed the video of Alex breaking blocks of ice. We stopped at a gas station with an ice pick, and we just went to town on the front of that car so that we could. I swear the ice was 50% of the weight. We didn't have an ice scraper, so we had to borrow one from someone. We just pulled up, and there was this random car. We're like, "Can we borrow an ice scraper?" And so excuse me, stranger, do you have an ice pick I can borrow for not nefarious purposes? It's just the biggest car ever. I like how you didn't even put your suitcase in the back. Well, it had your camera. I had my camera. I didn't want it to sloshing around back there, you know. Just
So you
especially the way you were driving. No,
you have your suitcase, and so you were like in fetal position.
Oh yeah.
The whole way for like 2 hours.
I had to get used to it. That's how I fly on planes anyway. Because I'm not like Alex Valuto. I can't afford the comfort class. I don't have the fancy pants Delta credit card where I get automatic upgrades. I'm dealing with I don't know what's like a bad bank. What's a crappy bank? Wells Fargo. I don't know who's like the least trusted bank. That's who I bank with. I don't know.
You do?
No, I bank with Chase. I shouldn't say that on the line.
Yeah.
People are gonna find it. They're hack me.
When's your birthday?
I almost fell for it.
Wish Seth a happy birthday.
I did have an idea for a joke.
Oh yeah, hit me.
Which I thought it would be like, how mentalists will like ask questions and they'll like, oh, I'll tell you something about your future with this. I thought if you like ask some like generic-y questions and then you started asking like security questions to like as crowd work on stage at the end of the bit, it would just be like, and I predict in your future you'll have your identity stolen. Just because you got to make fun of the confirmation bias of those mentalist fortune teller weirdos. I shouldn't say that. There's nice people. We know nice people.
Are there any mentalists? Do we know any mentalists?
We know a tarot reader.
Oh yeah,
she was also on that show in Ohio.
How did she get out? Oh, she was moving.
She was moving to
cross country.
Tennessee?
That was the other. No, she was moving to upstate New York.
Upstate New York, that's right.
That's the other part that we felt bad about because she was moving across the country in like a Kia Soul.
It was a small car.
She had every possession she had in that car.
And her 50-year-old Chihuahua. Old Courage.
And the car was having problems. And then in the meantime, we got the 50-foot U-Haul to go 2 hours with one bag.
We could have fit her car in the back of that U-Haul.
Just helped her move.
We should, just get a couple of ramps, slide her up there. The whole car would have fit. You could fit 4 of her cars in the back of that U-Haul.
I know.
That thing that could transport like a football team. It was massive. If you have any questions for either me or Alex, please feel free. Seeing y'all in New Braunfels in 3 days.
Nice.
We can tell you're from Texas because you said y'all, even in the comments. It takes someone special to type with an accent, I think.
I like how everyone in New Braunfels spells New Braunfels a different way.
Yeah, isn't it E-L-S?
I think it's E-L-S, but...
Yeah, but they're from there. I mean, who are we to criticize how they spell New Braunfels? We're from here. They're from there.
Yeah, so they're locals, and you can spell it however you want. What's the lift situation there?
Yeah, are we going to be able to escape from New Braunfels? That's the big question, because it's great to tour, it's great to see people out on the road. It's nice to come home, and if we had to live in Ohio, I think I'd be a little bit sad, just because it's not what I'm used to. All the cornfields, the bean fields.
Apparently, people like it because they don't move out.
Yeah, they only have one moving truck. They're like supply and demand. Nobody ever wants to leave.
And it didn't look like they were using it.
No, it was heavily unused with the ice. Hello from Washington State. Ice scraper could be used as a murder weapon if you tried hard enough. That's nefarious. There you go.
Where's that comment?
Potato potato.
Nice.
I don't know what that means.
Comments that's going to be used in court.
The potato or the one about the ice pick?
The ice pick is a murder weapon.
Yeah, they're like, it seems that you commented this on a dry bar live stream. Is that true? And the audience, or not the audience, the jury's just like, oh, he said what about an ice scraper? Oh, no.
Yeah. Hey, Seth, how's your self-esteem doing lately?
My self-esteem's at an all-time low, just
really?
like it always is.
It's gotten worse?
No, I don't know. I'm doing all right. I had a good show. I had some good shows this last weekend. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're funny.
Thank you.
You're smart. I can confirm that you're a very smart person.
Am I dying?
No.
What's with the compliment?
I don't know, because you for some reason don't realize how good you are. And then when I hang out with you, I'm like constantly trying to raise your self-esteem. And you're like, look at this guy. He's got the mic covering his face.
I have to cover it.
But
I have to cover my face.
You're like an Adonis. Look at this hair. Like, you have no room to stand on any kind of negative self-talk.
So you're saying I don't have a right to be sad?
No.
Are you gatekeeping depression from me, Alex?
Yes. I'm negging you, but in disguise of trying to pump you up.
You're pausing, or was it? What's the opposite of negging? Would it be positiving? I'm pausing you. Well, that just sounds like I'm not moving right now. But
yeah. So
where are you guys located? We're in Provo, Utah right now, filming here in the lovely Provo, Utah Dry Bar Theater. Is this an obituary?
Yeah.
Seth was so funny and so smart and so handsome. What an Adonis. May he rest in peace. We had to bury him in the largest casket we could find. My goodness, that thing was...
Oh, no.
You could bury a giraffe in that.
I'm too tall.
Oh, no, I'm too tall and handsome to die properly. That's my whole set. It's just me complaining about my pretty great life. It's like, oh, don't you guys hate it when you have, like, instant respect and you walk in a room because you're a freak? And it's like, no, we don't hate... What? Why do you hate that? Yeah, that's... Well, the worst... So, I mean, I used to be a lot worse. My not my self-esteem. I mean, that too. But I used to have a lot of jokes about just complaining about how tall I am and complaining about a lot of things that other people didn't think were that bad. And it usually went fine, except for the time that I did a charity show. I opened for Matt Eisman, and it was for these burn victim kids. And so they showed like a slideshow of them like at a summer camp having a ball, and there's not a dry eye in the room. Everyone's crying. And they're like, welcome to the stage, Seth Tippetts. Like, I came after the slideshow. And then I go up there and I'm like, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm just like, oh, don't you hate it when you're flying and your legs are too long? And everyone's like, you haven't been burned in the face. Nothing you're saying is funny right now. Which, anyway, all I'm saying is if you're going to do a show, you should probably check what the charity is and maybe adjust your material. We were backstage. We're like, wow, this crowd's on fire. Like it was not a good. I mean, and again, and since then I've come up with other jokes that don't just complain about like, other people consider positive traits. But that was definitely
probably come up with jokes that you feel like you should have done at that show for the burn victim children.
I mean, the kids weren't at the show. It was rich people donating money for the kids. That would have been even worse. Don't you kids hate it when
you're like,
your hair's normal? Like
I have a hard time dating. Like, I guess I will too. I only have.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. That what a bummer right there. Holy moly. No, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, it's one of those things I've had to reconcile because like everyone's got their struggles in life, and like. It's funny to complain about your struggles, but some, like obviously there's people who have it worse.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you can't be sad and you can't like be like, man, I wish my life was a little. But it does when you have the juxtaposition of like right next to each other. It's like this horrible thing happened to you. It's like, well, I got COVID once. Like that's not it's.
You have to preface every joke with, look.
I know
it's not as bad as third-degree burns, but I do get annoyed when there's too many raisins in the trail mix.
or worse, you're like, I don't know what it's like to be burned horribly, but boy, raisins in those trail mix, that's my struggle. That's my Vietnam. We
can all agree
that's my cross to bear.
The worst thing.
Nothing this bad has ever happened to anyone in the history of humankind. Oh, let's see.
You need some water?
I don't know if I could try. Seth, when do you plan on recruiting new members for your secret cult? I want to join. Bunny Boy, what does that mean? Please clarify. That's the whole point of a secret cult. It's a secret. With a name like Bunny Boy, I mean that. Who are you hiding from? Is this witness protection? Because they could do better.
Would your cult, they just say whatever the saddest thing is? Is that what the meeting is? And then
it's like AA, but just like DD for depression's depressed. Hi, I'm Seth. I've been depressed my whole life. Like, welcome, Seth. That's great.
These comments should all be compliments, I feel like.
How many Democrats does it take to make a joke that you laugh at? Time to take the tallest comedian trophy from Gary Gulman. I am taller than Gary Gulman. Give it to me, Gary. That's my trophy.
Oh, you are?
How tall is Gary Gulman?
I thought he was 6'9". You're that tall. Maybe
okay,
we're the same height.
We gotta. You know what, Garrett?
Sorry, I don't know.
Garrett, if you're still there, our producer, check how tall Gary Gulman is and post it as a lower third, so we can tell. Because as far as I knew, the most famous and the tallest comedian was he's got the comedy club in Vegas.
Oh, Brad Garrett?
Yeah, Brad Garrett's 6'8".
How tall is he? Oh, he's 6'8".
Yeah, he's 6'8".
Dang.
Yeah. And so I had him beat by a little, but the thing is, I say I'm 6'9" on stage, but I'm like 6'8 3/4. But it's just, I'm not going to say that every time I tell people how tall I am. And it's like, I'll round up. Who actually cares? If you're below 6 foot, you can't tell. You can't tell.
But you know.
But I know, and I'm lying to myself, and that's part of the reason I'm depressed. Maybe my mom would have loved me if I had that extra 1/4 inch of height. I would have gone pro. I wouldn't have gone pro.
Listen, I know you got trapped in a burning building, children, but I often feel guilty for lying about my height.
We got some give and take here. I mean, we all have our struggles.
I did a charity show for a kid that was born without part of his skull, and he was in the front row.
Oh.
Yeah, so I really couldn't do anything. I did preface everything with.
I feel like, does that make it worse though? If you like preface, like if you don't acknowledge it, but if you're just like, oh man.
Certainly you can relate, child. Anyway, I hope he's doing okay. I forget what his name is.
Gulman is 6'6".
Oh, okay, so you're taller than he is.
Yes, take that, Gary Gulman. Well, he's funnier than me. He'll always have that. That's the perfect sound effect.
I didn't know you had a fart button.
You got to have a fart button. That's never not funny.
Gosh, Seth.
We got that. We got crickets. That one comes in handy a lot when I'm doing live streams because boy howdy do I have some stinkers. We're using these too many times. It's fine. If you have any questions for me or Alex Voluto, feel free to hit us up in the comments. We're reading them sparingly. Where they come up, people are responding. 0 because they can't tell a joke they are not offended with. I don't know what that. Oh, was that a response to the?
Oh, people are probably.
That was a response to the Democrats thing. I see.
That's good. That'll go well. I feel like.
Oh, I said.
If we talk politics.
If we do what?
If we talk politics,
oh,
that'll go real.
That'll totally go well. I mean, why wouldn't it? It never doesn't go well.
My only political take is that it takes less money to get out of Ukraine than it does to get out of Salina, Ohio.
That is true. When we were in Ohio, just like contemplating our life choices and how we got stuck in this very small town, Alex looked up flights to Ukraine.
They were cheaper.
They were $325. I think that was round trip. Maybe it was one way, but either way, that is cheaper. Both of us could get to Ukraine easier than we could get a taxi out of Salina, Ohio.
I don't know why they're so cheap, but
yeah, I mean, you have to watch the market. You never know when these prices drop. I mean, first Ukraine, then the Bahamas.
I was ready to go fight. I was about to go fight. I was like, I'm gonna get a U-Haul and go over there and show Putin what's what.
That's right.
Hey, Putin, if you're watching this, I'm coming for you, okay, buddy? You can't get past me. This guy is 6 foot.
9. 8 3/4, whatever.
6'8" 3/4.
Yeah, take that, Putin.
Putin rounds up his height too, I bet.
Oh, you comparing me to Putin now? Is that what's?
No, I bet he's 5'4" or something.
Is he that short?
Probably.
My goodness.
Let's make up fake news about Putin.
Oh, I like it. Oh yeah, you bought a domain name, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I need to start that up.
Yeah, Wall Street.
Washington Herald Times.
The WashingtonHeraldTimes.com. We're going to start a fake news website posting just like weird, mean facts about Putin, and hopefully get the SEO high enough, the search engine optimization for those of you not in the website world. We'll get that high enough that it like overranks like Wikipedia for Putin, and then someone searches, how tall is Putin in our website? I say our, it's your website.
We need to start it up.
Question for Alex Voluto. What is the inspiration for your special name, Spurious, and also the sequel, Thirsty? We did talk about that at the beginning, but you know what? Let's rehash it. Let's do it again because, oh wait, that's Taylor Nielsen.
Yeah, let's not answer that. He's giving me garbage. I've told it.
Dang it, Taylor.
I've told him why, and he just won't listen. You can watch him. The last special I did was Thirsty, and I was single at the time, and now I'm married with a child.
Which, I mean,
so
I'm happy for you. I'm very happy for you that you have this family now, especially because that's all I've ever wanted. Then I got divorced. But that's the divorce button right there.
Where's the applause?
It's the yellow. It's got the bright. There you go.
That should be the actual sound. 'Cause I don't know if you guys know Seth's ex-wife, but he got divorced.
I was gonna say I'm very happy for you and your family, but I love the lonely
she still
jokes.
Watch these?
Probably not. I can't imagine.
Hey, text me if you got a problem. Putin and Seth's ex-wife can both text right at me, okay? If you got a problem with anything I'm saying.
And I need to get that trophy from Gary Gulman for tallest comedian. That's the other.
There you go.
So you're Al Bundy right now, right? I don't get it. You realize I'm 30. What is that? Was that married with children? Okay, that makes sense. I said the title out loud. Now I understand.
But anyway,
I'm not. The only thing I'm sad about, the only thing I mourn with you getting married and having a kid, is the lonely jokes. Because boy, those were funny. And the carpool lane and the diamond symbol, like it's all in a special. I'm not spoiling anything. I'm botching all his jokes, just like I did last week with Mike Paramore. But you definitely check it out. Where can they see your special, Alex? Where would be a good place to watch that on, say, all your devices and TVs?
oh look, there's a lower third right here.
There you go. Lower third. Check out drybarcomedy.com/AlexV.
This is not necessary.
Oh, no, it is necessary. We got to pump it, baby. We got to pump before we pump the brakes.
We should pump Dave Crow's special.
Who's Dave Crow?
Oh, wasn't he? No, who's the person that was supposed to be on here?
Dwight Slade was supposed to be here with me tonight, or today, whatever. It's live. We're not filming this to record later. Yeah, check out Alex Voluto's specials, Thirsty and Spurious, and also check out Dwight Slade's special. Hopefully we'll get him on the interview maybe next week. But he's here now. Should we just have him come with both of us, huh?
You can go. I already got my plug.
So. Oh, we got his plug. So check out Alex. We're going to be in New Braunfels, Texas, and check out his specials, Thirsty and Spurious, on the Dry Bar Comedy Plus app, available now on iOS, Android, and all the TV apps you could ever want. You could watch it in glorious 4K and see Alex, the Adonis that he is, in both those specials, with his lovely blue suit, well-tailored. That's not a Mr. Max suit. That's a good-looking suit.
Well-tailored.
I think it looked good.
I think the pants didn't fit well. I watch it, and
you know what? You wear the pants, though.
Pants. Go watch it just for the bad pants.
That's okay. People said I wore a blouse in my special, so I mean, it could be worse. I mean, you wore a suit. I dressed down for the occasion.
There you go.
Well, thanks for joining me, Alex, briefly,
thanks for
and
having me.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you were here. We're gonna get Dwight on here.
All right.
Thank you, Alex. Here we go. Off with the applause. Oh my goodness, Dwight Slade.
That's right. That's right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you see
Good.
me?
I love how all this electronic Zoom has turned me into a 90-year-old man with everything starts with, "Can you hear me?" I can hear you. So.
Is the service any better? I'm in your house. This is not. Well, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad it was traffic bad to get to your house. Was it?
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
No, we're glad to have you. That's totally fine.
Thank you.
And I did just watch your Dry Bar special, Animal Cracker, available now in the Dry Bar Comedy Plus app. What's the title? Was there? I didn't get all the way through it. I didn't have time, but it was. I'm going to watch it later. Was there an Animal Cracker joke, or was it called Animal Cracker just because you had so many animal jokes? Because I really enjoyed the crab and the sea lions and all the impressions you did.
Yeah, I'm learning that if you just make jokes about animals, that everything is fine, that no one cares. You don't get hit, you don't get slapped. So I'm with talking about animals. And yes, it was just trying to find something in my set that we could glue together, and it was all just jokes about animals. That'll work.
Yeah,
I'm a grown man, and I'm impersonating a crab. That's smart.
Oh, I loved it though. The you want to see these guns? Reminded me kind of the, what was I mean, that is, it's how crabs act. That's probably why they did the thing in Finding Nemo with the little crabs. Hey.
Crabs are the Al Pacino of the animal kingdom. Everything's fine, and one little thing. You did not just say that to me. Say hello to my little claw.
Is that in the special? Is that a tag, or is that a new joke right there?
No, that's a new one. That's.
Oh, there you go. You got the Al Pacino tag. I love it. That would totally work. Slade, you mean Deathstroke? Do you have a nickname I don't know about? Are you a WWE wrestler? We got some weird comments sometimes. Well, Dwight, what got you into comedy?
I wanted to piss my parents off.
Did it work?
And I figured this is the best way to do it, so that's what I did. But no, I met a friend of mine in 7th grade, and we became a comedy team, and just, well, this looks like a good way to make a living. So it's just always, and so now, and then I wound up on the Dry Bar, which should be my last expenditure in comedy somehow.
Oh, it's a fantastic special. And if you haven't checked it out yet, and Animal Cracker, like I said, available. Now, do you have one of those short links? Can they go to drybarcomedy.com/Dwight maybe?
Yeah, there's lots of clips you can get and basically see the whole thing in like 3-minute segments.
There you go. You can watch it on your 4K TV or 3-minute segments on the toilet, like God intended. That's how comedy was meant to be viewed. Certainly not in person.
Where are you at your home?
Oh, this is not my home. It's my home away from home. I'm actually on the Dry Bar stage right now. Yeah, so facing.
That's why the lighting is so nice.
That's right. Yeah, my house doesn't have nearly the aesthetics, the ambiance of Dry Bar, but yeah, they're down here in Provo filming, which is a nice change of pace, and yeah. Well, Dwight, how so you have a lot of jokes about animals, and like you said, they don't get very political. You don't have any Democrat sea lions or Republican walruses. Wait, what are the actual animals? Elephants and donkeys, right? I should have gone with that. That would have been the easier joke right there.
Iguanas, that's a good one.
Republican iguanas. I don't even know what that means. But what other places do you find inspiration? Because it seemed like you also had quite a lot of observational stuff. Just about, I was watching the Bluetooth stuff, which was fantastic because I think it's very relatable. A lot of people are in that situation where I'm always accidentally talking to somebody on the phone who is not. They're just looking at me.
Yeah, well, I found I was being the longer I was in comedy, the angrier I was getting, and I needed to find outlets for it. And so that's one of the what happened is I just started talking to myself and being angry, and then wound up making jokes about everyday things, little tiny things, people that anyway, a lot of different ones, but and animals, and so that's the way I developed the set, sort of like that. And to the large extent, I just said, what was I like when I was 9 years old? I thought I was very funny when I was 9, and so wound up doing animals.
Yeah, I think that's true. When you're younger, you're definitely more unabashed self, and it's sometimes just trying to get back to that and forgetting some of the weird societal crap that's been pushed on you. Which
agree.
Kids are hilarious. Like, I mean, kids say the darndest thing. There's been shows all over the place about kids just being hilarious, and well, good on you for getting back to that 9-year-old mentality. Because boy, those jokes they hit different. Let's see, we got a question here. What was your first? Was that your first joke? This is a good way of living. Oh, they were making a joke. I thought it was what was your first joke? Do you remember your first joke you ever wrote?
Let's see. I think. Yeah, it was. It's a funny thing is it's pretty tasteless.
So
when I was born, I was a Siamese twin, and to keep us warm, they put us under a urine tray with, and anyway, I guess I can't remember it.
Well,
but I do remember, making a joke about urine and thinking that was very funny.
I mean, when did you start doing comedy?
I started in 7th grade.
You mentioned that, 7th grade.
You ready for this? 1970s was when I did my first open mic.
Really? They let a 7th grader into a comedy club?
No, well, that it was back when you were 18 was required. So they figured as long as their parents aren't going to get us beat up, we'll let the kid on. So.
And how did your first open mic go? Some people have a good experience, some people don't. Like, what did it go well, and did that keep you going? Did you catch the bug at that age?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's like I think a lot of people have their first time on stage is just like this magic, and then they're hooked, and then the second one is awful, and then the third, fourth, fifth one are mediocre, and by then you're completely cynical and
six open mics in. That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Yeah, and so I was lucky. I had the first show went really well, and then it was a struggle from then on.
I had a very similar experience. My first show, I was dumb because I didn't know you weren't supposed to. I invited my whole family. I had friends there, so it wasn't just like and I did pretty decent for my first time, and then the subsequent 3 months of open mics were just like, how come I'm not funny anymore? But it's that first one. It keeps you going. Well, if you have any questions for Dwight Slade, comedian Dwight Slade, please leave them in the comments. Seeing if we have any questions. Well, Dwight, what do you got coming up? Where are you going to be when the people can see you?
Well, I live in Boise, Idaho. I moved here from Portland, Oregon 2 years ago as part of the protester exchange program they have. And so I have some shows in Boise coming up at the Lounge at the End of the Universe. That's the name of the club, which they concur.
Heard of that? The Lounge at the End of the Universe. What was that?
It's even they agree that it's just an awful name for a club. It's very memorable.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. The Lounge at the End of the Universe. We have a question. Michelle Hawkins, are you coming to Utah anytime soon? I mean, if you're only up in Idaho, that's not a bad drive.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's just flat. And gee, I wish I could turn. I have nothing booked, but I am coming to Utah. I'm trying to get some stuff in September because I'll be down there anyway. So yeah, I'd love to do it. I also have a DVD you can get and email me, and I'll give you a friends and family rate. It's a double disc DVD. There's a clean show, and then there's a dirty show. Oh,
there you go. And, so if you want Dwight's DVD, his double disc DVD, go to his website, find his email.
Yeah, easy schmeezy. Which I hate people who say that. I apologize.
So now you hate yourself? Is that some good self-hate there?
Now, you've done one dry bar? Are you doing another one?
I mean, eventually, hopefully. I did mine a while back. It was actually my first time ever headlining. It was the first time I'd ever done 40 whole minutes. I'd featured a bunch. And I like I was telling Alex, I didn't know how to dress. Nobody told me that vertical lines do that weird buggy thing on film. Nobody told me what to. And so I brought a bunch of shirts with vertical lines. Like, yeah, you can't wear any of those. And so I went with my fourth choice. And yeah, everyone in the comments were just talking about how I looked like I was wearing a blouse. Or that's a woman's shirt. He doesn't look very good. That's he needs to stop playing with his hair. I had self-esteem, and then I read the comments. I read the. Are you big on the internet comments? Are you one of those sadists, or do you steer clear like a smart person?
I do steer clear. I have enough bad images in my head running around. But I had an experience where I did that show, Comic Unleashed. It was a long time ago, and I didn't know it, but I put on a shirt that I just bought, and it had on it a one of those things that creates an alarm, and it was on my shirt. And so I'm standing there, and I have I'm wearing a shirt that it looks like I just took it from TJ Maxx. Humiliating.
You had that in your special then, the little.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
On your. So
that's a true story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just turned it into something that was in my act and did it.
Yeah.
Well, you did see my show. I'm flattered.
Oh, you thought I was lying about that?
I did. I thought it was a showbiz thing.
Just one of those host things like, oh, you have a great special here. I'm sure I'll get around to it. Oh, this book. I'm definitely going to read this book. Nah, I'm all about being genuine, and I genuinely enjoyed your special. It was really fantastic.
Oh,
how have you felt the response was? I mean, I think it Personally, I think it should be big. I think it needs to. If it's $1 million, it should be $2 million. That's what I say.
That's very nice. Yeah, well, that's the thing that surprised us about dry bars. We kind of did it and forgot about it, and then next thing you know, oh, by the way, you have 2 million, views of this, and so it's been such a beautiful thing for stand-ups to be able to be part of this. At least
get their name out there. So did you have a pretty good bump in followers and all that?
I did, and it's gone up and down since then. So I'm very pleased with it. It's just to tell you the truth, it's the only thing I got going.
My problem was I didn't know what to do with all these fans that showed up, because I had 100. I had 100 total on Facebook, and then after my special, I had like 16,000, which was more than and so I was like, I don't want to post anything, because then they'll leave. They'll realize that like this isn't what I signed up for. Time to bail. And so I didn't post anything for 4 years, and every time I post something, I lose 50 followers. But I don't know. I don't know how the social media works. It's all. That's why it's great the dry bar's here, because they handle the heavy lifting and they get your stuff out there, and you can just focus on being absolutely hilarious. Again, his special Animal Cracker, check it out. The Dry Bar Comedy Plus app, also on YouTube and Facebook, I believe. I don't know what that question means.
Apparently, it's streaming for free for a certain amount of time, which is fine.
Oh, yeah. I guess we're streaming it for it's probably a week. I think we've been doing a week, and so it's available in the Dry Bar Comedy Plus app for a free week. Get a week trial with Dwight Slade. Reading these comments, there's just some of them don't make sense. Some of them are half sentences, but I should expect that from the internet. I don't know.
Yeah, very low attention.
If you have any questions, if you have any questions if you have any questions for Dwight Slade, if you have any questions for the audience, I'm sure we'll get answers if you want to know what they're thinking. But that's not what I meant to say. Like I said, I'm not showbiz. I'm barely professional.
Well, this is true. Is that I'm approaching my 60th birthday. I'm going to be 60.
Are you really?
Yeah, and
well, you look great. I was, if it's not a Zoom filter, maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. That's
well, thank you. And I don't feel 60. 60 is such a bad birthday. I figured that out because there's no hiding it. You can't be in your 40s and 50s. You can hide it. There's technology. There's creams. There's injections. But when you reach 60, it's just it's your own sadness that you have to sit with. And
where's the cream for my sadness? Which part do I rub this to get rid of the sadness? You said all this technology that we have to get rid of or to hide it when you're 40s and 50s. I'm just imagining like a little warning label. Warning, does not work on 60s. Like, dang it. What did I even pay for this?
These are good jokes. I'm going to keep these.
Does that sound well? Did I interrupt a bit? Did I ruin the time?
No.
In the middle of talking about more 60s stuff, and I just I screwed up the cadence.
I think just it's upfront. I want to be upfront what it's like to be, what's coming up. If people are going to watch the special, they're going to go, "Oh, he looks good. How old is he? He's 60. Oh my God!" But
well, you're very high energy on stage, so I don't think anyone would ever guess that. I certainly wouldn't have. Yeah, and inversely, I just barely turned 30, so boom, as me and Alex were just talking about earlier, it's like, oh, doesn't that stink? And it's like, well, everyone, I mean, to be fair, if I make it to 60, I'll be very happy. That would be ideal. Tall people don't live that long, it turns out.
Oh. Well, the good thing about the 30s remind you at least you made it through your 20s. Because
I survived.
Everything stupid that you ever do is usually done in the 20s, It's like, oh yeah, okay, I spent $5,000 going to Cuba. That was smart.
Did you really?
No, my brother did though, and I had
5,000
to bail him out because
he didn't have enough money for a round trip. It was a one-way $5,000.
Right. Well, yeah. Turns out that Cuba's not a really easy place to be a tourist. So do we still have an embargo? Is that the right word? With Cuba? They have lifted the embargo. Here I am, a diplomat suddenly of the United States. They have one. which is fine. But they have a partial embargo, I think, or I don't know.
A partial embargo, huh?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if someone chatted in with that.
They're like, actually,
I was just in Cuba.
I was just in Cuba, and the embargo. So I assume your brother went back when it was more. Is it better now, or is that a recent thing?
That was a long time ago, before the embargo, and I think a friend of his had moved there or something. And anyway,
now you said your brother's 27, or at least in the special you mentioned that. Is that true?
That's true. Yes.
Or was that from a joke when you were? So there's a pretty big age gap then.
Yeah. Well, what did I say? He was 27.
I think you said he was 27, but I don't know if that was because you were saying like in the past, like he was 27 when this story happened or something.
I don't even have a brother, so I don't even know where this all came from.
Well, all right then. Maybe I misheard. So you were actually talking about someone in the friendship way, like he's my brother. We got a question from Penny Joe Hatch. What was your best what was one of your best comedy experiences?
I was actually thinking about this the other day. I was like trying to pin down my top 3, and one of them was I did an open mic in San Francisco on a Sunday, and the headliner was Brian Regan, and I went up and did my set, and I recorded it. And about 4 weeks later, I thought, well, I'm going to listen to it, and I listened to it, and I had put the recorder right next to where Brian Regan had sat down, and he laughed at my whole set.
Oh man!
So I have it on recording of him, and it was just like it was like the student had met the master.
Yeah,
approval. So.
Oh, that's an amazing story. I think everyone would kill for something like that to happen.
Oh, I know. Just to hear that.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, like it's one thing to. Well, I feel like I don't know, maybe you don't think this is true. Do you think that comedians are like we build up a tolerance for funny because we see it so much, and so I actually don't laugh at that much. Like it takes something actually funny because I'm always around comedians. So comedians can make me laugh, but sometimes I've seen material so often it's like, well, it's hilarious. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
So the fact that he laughed at you, I don't know if he's one of those kind of guys. I guess is probably more the thing. Like if he just genuinely laughs at a lot of stuff, or if you were. I don't know. I'm just saying that's a huge compliment. I think that's pretty awesome that happened. So
yeah, my wife complains that comedians never laugh at each other, and I just explained to her. I go, "This is what comedians do when something's funny. They go like this. They nod, and that's the biggest compliment you can do to another comedian. Is just nod. So
yeah, or the best is I wish I'd thought of that. That's the other good compliment. Is someone's just like, dang it, that joke. I wish I thought of that. As a comedian, do you or do you not enjoy seeing someone else's show? From Jan Jap Clock. Okay, it's hard to read some of these usernames. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting question because it becomes like if you had 2 things to do: sit home, watch Netflix, or go see a comic. Most comics would say, I think I'll just stay home. So I rarely want to go see a comic. And if I do, then they make me laugh. Then I think it's a double compliment. Because,
right.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite comics? Obviously, Brian Regan is up there as one of the. Have you met all your heroes? I guess is another question.
Good question. I've met a handful of them, but I used to do talk radio years ago in Portland, and I had people on the air, and I think I had at one time Robert Kennedy Jr., and we had to share a mic, and he looks exactly like Robert F. Kennedy Sr., like his dad did. And it was so weird being 3 inches from this guy's face and seeing that Kennedy smile and that Kennedy face. It was, it rendered me breathless.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that sounds like quite the experience.
Mm-hmm. What are your favorite comics?
So my favorite comics? Well, I used to really love Louis C.K. before all the drama llama.
True. True.
I have my pioneer joke that's in my special was actually written because I drove my family crazy. My immediate family, I don't have kids or wife or anything, but we as a family drove down to see him. We actually were there for his special taping in Phoenix, and it was supposed to just be me and my siblings, but my mom was like, "Well, I'm going too," and then she just frowned and folded her arms the whole time, and then whole ride home was just like, "He wasn't that funny. I didn't particularly like him." We're like, "We didn't invite you," but she just invited herself, so he was up. I love what's his bucket, John Mulaney. He makes me laugh, especially the Sack Lunch Bunch, which wasn't even like stand up. It was kind of like a variety show sketch. Have you seen that on Netflix?
I haven't.
That got me good a couple times, but I mean, there's so much talent on Dry Bar too. You're one of my new favorite comedians. I would love to see a second special from Dwight Slade. I would.
Well, you're very kind, and I'll start writing one right now.
Well, you better. That's the fans demand it, and by fans I mean me, but also probably the fans. Have you been working on a new hour? Do you do mostly clean stuff on the road, or is it? Do you go back and forth? You mentioned you had a dirty hour on DVD.
That's true. What I learned about is getting that out was nice to get out stuff that I could not normally do. But I like being clean, and I think working at it makes you work a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And but then surprisingly, you can come up with stuff that you wouldn't normally come up in a dirty set, if that's something that should be.
Oh, yeah, you got to be creative sometimes to weave around certain topics and come up with better words. I agree. If you got any questions for Dwight, we're wrapping up here probably in a little bit. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I had a question and I just forgot it. Well, shoot. Do you have any questions, Dwight? This interview's going so well.
No, just to tell everyone to keep supporting Dry Bar. It's really all I have. So it's such a great thing for comics to have.
I agree, and if you want to support Dwight, go sign up for the Dry Bar Comedy Plus app. He'll get the proceeds if you go to his link or to his special and watch that first. I believe he'll receive a little cheddar, a little something on the side if you use the promo code Dwight Slade when you're checking out. His special is available free for the next week, I believe, in the Dry Bar Comedy Plus app and on the social media platforms. His name is Dwight Slade. Head to his website, dwightslade.com. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Are you the only Dwight Slade, or do you have competition on the internets? Because I know some people, there's like a lawyer that's got the same name or something.
No, I did in the old days when there was a phone book. I looked up a Dwight Slade in Wichita, Kansas, and he was a PTSD former soldier in the Vietnam War. And anyway, I had a nice conversation with him, although I don't know if he followed it very well.
Which actually called him.
Yeah, I did.
Well, that sounds like an interesting story right there. And this person down here says comedy is good therapy. So you helped out this other Dwight Slade with PTSD with your hilarious demeanor, I'm sure. His name's Dwight Slade. Thanks so much for joining me, Dwight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great to meet you. I'd love to see you in person. I hope we work together someday.
I hope so too.
I'm waiting for that second special, baby. You got to make it happen. I can't wait to see all the new animals.
Will do, man. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.